Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of projects that one of the followers asked me to review. So shout out to Hashim, 3 projects that he wanted me to look at, and hopefully you find this interesting. Hopefully you follow these projects as well, because it might be beneficial to you. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research before investing, and let's get straight into the charts. So taking a look at APT/USDT, I think this is Aptos, right? Yeah, Aptos. And project launched on Binance very recently, as you can see. And we're seeing some sort of a breakout of this symmetrical triangle. And this symmetrical triangle is having a nice target to the upside. Let's see what that target looks like. So this is the breakout here. So we could be looking at $6.22 for Aptos here. From where we are right now, that would be a 20%, 25% move to the upside. So I would be buying in here because I'm not sure if the project is having any sort of news coming out relatively soon, right? Because that could play a major factor. But seeing how that project is relatively new on Binance, actually, let's check out TradingView and let's see if we have some here. So yeah, pretty much all the exchanges that I just checked just had the project listed. So yeah, you have a major buy zone in case we see any capitulations in the crypto market in December, January, or February, anywhere from $3.97 to $3.41.5. That's going to be your major support block that I have here. So we could come back here maybe early spring next year or April once we see that capitulation play out. That could happen. But for now, I think this is healthy growth. I'm not sure what the project is all about, but what I could also do is add an ascending trend line here that we're holding as support for now. If that is broken anytime soon, I would assume we would be coming back down to retest one of the previous swing lows. We're above the 20 EMA for now, which is good. We're holding that as support, healthy uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. So we're looking good on the daily. The RSI is starting to recover from this oversold position in November. And if we end up getting somewhere into the overbought in the next few weeks, I would say that's a good point to take some profits. However, it depends on whether you're holding the token for long term or not. The volume isn't that big. Obviously, all the other indicators are fairly fresh here, and we're just recovering from the oversold on the stochastic. Let's jump into the 4-hourly to see what's going on here. So the 4-hourly is getting quite overbought on the RSI. So maybe I would just wait a little bit more before buying in. What you could also do is add this ascending trend line on the RSI. That could be a strong entry point, in my opinion. If we see any sort of pullbacks, like I said, this would be a nice entry for Aptos. Let's see what we got next. We got the stochastic and the overbought. Yeah, this is not looking very good in terms of buying in right now. The MACD is getting a bit overextended here. Histogram turning bullish. So we have our uptrend confirmation December 2nd. On the price action, that would be around, that would be a nice 11% trade off the confirmation from the MACD. So we're looking good on the 4-hourly, a bit overextended from the 20 EMA on the 4-hourly. So that's where I would be buying in. You also have a major resistance level here on the 4-hourly, or a support level, I should say, because we broke it as resistance. So $4.77. We had this retested multiple times in November and December before we eventually broke out a couple of days ago or a couple of hours ago. And now we're going to see the pullback to back test this as support. So that's going to be a nice entry point for you. If you're looking to swing trade this, then yeah, I would buy off of the 20 EMA, buy off of the trend line, and in case we start breaking this local high that we're printing right now, just take some profits. 10-15% profits is okay during a bear market, in my opinion. We could also slap in a Fibonacci retracement just to see what is going to be happening here. So we are above the local high that we printed November 26th. If we start solidifying above this high, which means we're breaking that high, you're going to have a target all the way up to $5.55, which off of the 20 EMA for now is going to be a 16.7% trade. So what I think should happen if we want to be bullish is that we have to start coming up and start holding the first fib level as support, right? If you want to see a very bullish outcome. However, if we do see a pullback, right, and we do have the inflation data coming out early December in a couple of days, then we might see the pullback. So I wouldn't advise buying all in, but I'm not a financial advisor, so you do you. But yeah, keep this in mind. So another project that was requested by Hashim was Gal USDT. That's Galaxy. I'm not sure if that's Gal XE. Yeah, that's the name of the company. I don't know anything about the project necessarily, but I'm simply taking a look at the price action here. So straight off the bat, a very, very nice buy zone would be in this area. As you can see, we had a bounce in November and had a bounce here at the end of November. So we're moving to the upside right now. This would be a major resistance level for us to break right now. Right? You want to be looking at that level as an exit or a take profit. So if you have bought in at this dip, that would be a 102% move. Also major resistance level over here. As you can see, that bounce in October, we lost it in November, and we haven't retested it as support. From where we are right now, that's a potential 23% move. So even if you're buying in right now, you could target the 55 daily EMA and the yellow resistance trend line over here. This is also a fairly new project, my friend. So I would be careful buying into new projects only, because you need to have a strong portfolio before you start buying into these new projects, because they're always going to have a higher risk of going belly up. Taking a look at the daily RSI, we're seeing a strong recovery here after this dip in November. So I'm not sure if that's because of some news. If we're seeing price move up after some news came out regarding the project, I would just hold off before buying in, because usually the price settles back down after the hype is done. So we got a bullish cross confirmation November 23rd. So we're seeing a healthy move in the MACD. Nice confirmation of the uptrend here. If you got that confirmation, potentially you would be up 29% since that. So that's all good. But I would say buying into this project right now is more safer, or safer. You don't use more and safer together. It is safer than buying into Aptos right now, because Aptos is in a stronger position. It's more expensive based on the price action, right? Here you can see that we're pretty low based on where we've been in the past 6 months. Also, if you could add this trend line over there, that's going to be a very nice resistance trend line for us to break, because we've been rejected from this high, from this trend line once in August, once in September, and once in November. So potentially we might run into that resistance once again in December. If you're buying in for the long term, this really doesn't matter. You could start dollar cost averaging here. If we go lower, you could buy back in there as well. It depends on your relationship with the project, so to speak. And the final project I was asked to look at was that was ERN, Eternity Chain. Yeah. So yeah, we just had a nice pump here for Eternity Chain. Let's go to the weekly. So this is a more stable project. Yeah, this one has been out for quite a while, since June 2021, which in all honesty is still pretty new. But hey, this is better than the previous two. Not saying that they're worse in terms of project quality, but still you have to be careful with these things. So immediately we have an ascending support trend line. So this is a very good buying opportunity. If you want to be making some short-term swing trades, this is perfect for that. You have higher highs, you have higher lows. We're starting a very nice uptrend here. So if we just bounced off of this low here, we had a wick, but we necessarily didn't go and close a candle right above the trend line. So that could happen if we see any sort of pullbacks. So I would target this this trend line for entries, set up the buy limit alerts immediately, because you're never going to catch the exact bottom, right? Especially if you're asleep and the price does something like this. You want to have those buy limit orders set up in advance. So that's just an advice from someone who has learned from his mistakes. So we are on the weekly right now, right? Yeah. And the RSI is performing quite well. So I think this is yeah, with the price action performing like this, we could see healthy growth moving forward, right? Even if Bitcoin is dropping, we're not seeing lower lows for this project ERN here. So the low that we printed in June was not retested here with the last Bitcoin pullback. So this shows that the project is doing very well. Now, what we could also do is create this resistance block over here. That's going to be a major resistance block for us to break. And if you're going to be coming up here and you're going to get squeezed up between the support and resistance, at some point you're going to have to see a breakout, right? Because that's the only thing you could really do if the bull market is approaching, if the sentiment in the market is going to change. And that could happen by, we could be in this pattern here until June 2023, right? If we're going to be in this sideways market, right? So that's a potential scenario, right? But I don't think that's going to play out. I think we're going to see some sort of a push into the 30K region for Bitcoin in April 2023. Then we're going to have the capitulation, then the fake out in August, another retrace, but not a capitulation rather, but a retracement, and then into 2024 we're in the bull market. So I think until then you're good for dollar cost averaging into altcoins. If you feel like these projects are worthwhile and worth your time, then obviously go for it. I know nothing about either three of these projects, so yeah, I can't really advise on that. Taking a look at the daily here, let's see what's going on. So we are above the 20 EMA. That's a bullish sign. Because that is a major trend line for us to be above if we want to see healthy uptrend, obviously. If we see the bullish cross, that's also a nice sign, but not very important during a bear market if we see that. So this area would be a nice swing trade take profit level, right? Because the last time we were there, we got rejected. Potentially, we could see the same thing here. We could come back down, and that's a nice double top pattern with a potential breakout target down below. That is also something that could happen. If we see a strong capitulation, right, I would be targeting the swing lows here, right? These swing lows, this is something you want to be looking at, because once we start losing key support levels, just like the one here, if we start losing that, you want to look for lower support levels for us to retest. So yeah, I wouldn't buy all in right now. I wouldn't necessarily buy all in at any point, but I'm just saying that be careful. So that's pretty much it. Quick review of these projects. If you want me to take a look at any of your projects as well, let me know down below in the comment section. Once again, shout out to Hashim, brother. Thank you for requesting these projects, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.